हेलो उन्नारू फ्रेंड्स, मैं आया हूँ हैदराबाद में। आज मैं आपको डिजिटोलॉजिक कंपनी के बारे में बताऊंगा। डिजिलॉजिक ऐसी कंपनी है जो इंडिया के डिफेंस सेक्टर में बहुत ही क्रिटिकल रोल प्ले कर रही है। नॉट ओनली डिफेंस में अगर देखा जाए तो वो आर्मी, नेवी, एयरफोर्स और उसके अलावा अगर देखते हैं तो वो इंडिया के स्पेस प्रोग्राम को भी सपोर्ट कर रही है। तो लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड अबाउट डिजिलॉजिक इन दिस वीडियो। क्या
Hello, Jetty. Welcome.
थैंक यू फॉर हैविंग मी सर।
Thanks a lot. Most welcome in Digilogic Systems.
थैंक यू।
Let me take you for a roadshow.
नाइस टू मीट यू।
Digilogic has a research and development team who are in a continuous process of exploring technologies in radar, signal processing, EW signals, signal intelligence, satellite communication and ground communication. With a vision to work on core technologies, the team at Digilogic has developed a unique system with a state-of-art technology and come out with a product such as radar target echo simulator, waveform generator, ADSB receivers, field RF signal recorders, spectrum monitoring and signal recording systems. With all the IP developed in Hyderabad, Digilogic is truly contributing to the Make in India initiative taken up by our Government of India. With a vision of having an innovative signal processing, we at Digilogic have not only picked up challenging and one of its kind projects, but also delivered the system much before the delivery time, helping our clients to cut down their complete project time drastically and supporting them throughout the project tenure.
धन्यवाद, आपने मुझे अपनी फैसिलिटी की टूर कराई। थोड़ा सा आपके बारे में बता सकते हैं?
Thank you, Chintan साहब. Thanks for coming. आपने इतना टाइम लेके हमारा फैसिलिटी विजिट किया. This was a great gesture from you. मेरे बारे में अगर बताना है तो थोड़ा I'll take 2 minutes to explain myself. I am an ex-Air Force veteran, a technocrat who spent 15 years in Air Force, out of which around 3 to 4 years was spent in training. To my luck, ट्रेनिंग होने के बाद जो है मेरा मोस्ट ऑफ माई टेन्योर वाज स्पेंट ऑन टेस्ट एंड evaluation ऑफ सिस्टम्स, predominantly on radar and ground radar applications, right? So then after completing 15 years tenure in year 94, I came out of Air Force and then decided to enter into corporate world. So from 94 till 2008, I had an opportunity to work in a different organizations who are again connected with defense and aerospace, and I completed my activities in this kind of industries for almost close to 10 years. 2008, I got an opportunity to establish this company as a firm.
So थोड़ा 2007 से अभी 2025 की जर्नी अगर आप बता सकते हैं कि डिजिलॉजिक कैसे ग्रो हुआ, थोड़ा जस्ट सम इम्पोर्टेंट माइलस्टोन जो आपने अचीव किया है एज अ पार्ट ऑफ डिजिलॉजिक.
Definitely. So after starting this as a firm in 2007, by 2015 we were able to grow to the extent of 5 crores billing, with the main verticals are ATE checkouts, data acquisition systems and static test beds, and radar and evaluation system. These are all the main three segments which we had been serving, and these three business segments are relevant in all DRDO labs, DRDO production centers. We are quite relevant over there.
तो सर मैं देख रहा हूँ जैसे हमारे स्लाइड्स में हमारे दर्शक भी देख पा रहे हैं कि हमने इसरो के साथ भी थोड़ा बहुत काम किया। हमने शुरुआत की 2023 में ही, हमने पहली बार उनके साथ काम किया था कि उससे पहले भी हमने कुछ उनके साथ काम किया हुआ है?
यस सर, यू आर राइट। सी हमारा जो इसरो के साथ जो पार्टिसिपेशन था वो मेनली ग्राउंड सिस्टम के लिए था, क्योंकि जब भी लॉन्चिंग होता है ग्राउंड चेकआउट सिस्टम्स जो उधर बनते हैं उसका ज़्यादा क्रिटिकल रोल होता है। सो इसरो के साथ हमने इनिशियली काम शुरू करके उसमें रिजल्ट्स आने का it took almost 1.5-2 years for us. That was the gestation.
Okay.
But from there onwards, yes, ISRO happens to be one of our client.
ओके सर, थोड़ा सा समझना था क्योंकि जो सेगमेंट में हम काम कर रहे हैं वो इतना इजी टू अंडरस्टैंड नहीं है। थोड़ा सा अगर लेमैन को हमें समझाना है तो एक कुछ एग्जांपल लेके समझा सकते हैं कि हम क्या करते हैं, कौन सी सर्विसेज, प्रोडक्ट्स और उस पर हम काम करते हैं।
श्योर श्योर। एक्चुअली लेट मी उसको थोड़ा सिंप्लीफाई करके बताने की कोशिश करता हूँ मैं। इसमें क्या है, एज आई टोल्ड यू, अपना बिजनेस सेगमेंट जो वर्टिकल्स है मेनली ATEs, चेकआउट सिस्टम्स एंड रडार एंड वारफेयर, रडार DW वारफेयर सेगमेंट्स। टू मेक इट वेरी सिंपल, लेट अस टेक द क्वेश्चन ऑफ ATE। व्हाट इज एन ATE? ऑटोमेटेड टेस्ट इक्विपमेंट। अब मान लीजिए आजकल यू आर ड्राइविंग अ कार, नाउअडेज कार कम्स विथ लॉट्स ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स। सो 15 साल पहले जो कार था, आज का तारीख में जो कार है, इट इज़ वेरी टेक्नोलॉजी वाइज इट इज़ हाईली एडवांस्ड। ऑल दिस हैपन्स इन द बैकग्राउंड, देयर इज समथिंग लाइक ECU बोलते हैं उसको, इंजन कंट्रोल यूनिट्स। सो इंजन कंट्रोल यूनिट इज a computer which is sitting within the car, which controls the health of the car. It keeps pumping and it keeps telling you अगर कार में कुछ issue है, all that. So now, tomorrow if your car goes for a service, when you go to your service center, that gentleman simply brings a laptop and hooks onto your car port and downloads the total health of the car. With that only he is able to tell you आपका कार के साथ क्या issue है. This exactly we do. Other side car is getting tested, but when it comes to us, we are testing technology product like be it a missile, be it a radar, be it any kind of naval system which is going on board. We develop ATEs, automated test equipment, which are meant to test the subsystems which are going to be on board.
सर आपने ऑलरेडी डिफेंस में तीनों ब्रांच के लिए अभी बता दिया कि आप आर्मी के साथ काम करते हैं, नेवी के साथ काम करते हैं, एयरफोर्स के साथ काम कर रहे हैं, इवन आप स्पेस एक्सप्लोरेशन में इसरो जैसे कस्टमर्स के साथ काम कर रहे हैं. बट व्हाट अबाउट द सिविल एविएशन सेक्टर? आप कोई एमआरओ कंपनी के साथ भी कुछ काम कर रहे हैं, वहाँ पे हमने कुछ सिस्टम प्रोवाइड किए हैं या कुछ सर्विसेज दे रहे हैं? अगर नहीं कर रहे हैं तो हम इसमें कैसे आगे बढ़ सकते हैं? हम क्या एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं आपसे और डिजिलॉजिक से?
टू आंसर योर क्वेश्चन, एज ऑफ नाउ अभी इमीडिएटली हम एमआरओ में बिजनेस में नहीं है. But to qualify to MRO business, we have all the capabilities. Technically, whatever contributions I can do with respect to MRO industry, we have all the infrastructure and capabilities. Now, because of that, now we are looking towards signing up with some major OEMs who are keen to set up a OEM MRO facility. Based on the opportunities as it comes in, we are open to explore the market and we are capable of doing it.
परफेक्ट सर. नाउ लेट्स टॉक अबाउट हमारे जो प्रोडक्ट्स हैं, सर्विसेज है, हमारा अगर रेवेन्यू से मैं अगर इस तरह से देखता हूँ हमारे बिजनेस को, तो बल्क ऑफ द रेवेन्यू हमारी जो आ रही है वो आ रही है हमारे एटी सिस्टम से आ रही है, विच इज़ पार्ट ऑफ द टीएमएस. अगर टीएमएस अगर बात करते हैं तो वो टेस्ट, मेजरमेंट और सिमुलेटर सेगमेंट है, जो डिफेंस के एक्सपेंडिचर का काफ़ी अच्छा सा पोर्शन वहाँ पे आता है. तो थोड़ा सा बता सकते हैं कि पूरे डिफेंस के उसमें टीएमएस सेगमेंट का क्या महत्व है, क्या इंपॉर्टेंस है, हाउ रिलेवेंट इट इज़, हम किस तरह से इसको देख सकते हैं कि हम जो कर रहे हैं उसका डिफेंस के हमारे रेडीनेस पे क्या असर पड़ता है?
Right, sir. That's a good question. As you can see, our client base mainly जो है DRDO and DRDO related production agencies who are building mission critical applications. When you say mission critical application, just take an example of a missile. Missiles are, as you know, generally they're not guided weapons. These are all guided. So when somebody fires a missile, it's supposed to go and hit a target pinpointed without doing any collateral damage. When you say that, after getting fired from a launch pad, his trajectory should be so accurate. That means there must be some intelligence sitting inside that, and that's how it is able to go there, right? Now, this is what we call it onboard electronics, right? So, when you build an onboard electronic with that kind of precision, so while developing it, it has to be evaluated for zero fault situation. That means we cannot afford any kind of failures. If it fails, its trajectory will go to some other place, and it might likely to go and hit your own villages or whatever it is. That should not happen. So our contribution in this industry is to provide the designers who's developing this system ATs, automated test equipment, to test this functionality of their systems, what they're developing it, so that textbook specifications, what has been defined, all those specifications are met. As they're doing it, our AT helps them to mature their designs, do lots of iterations, and optimize their software in such a way that before even going for a critical testing or critical test trials in the lab itself, they'll be able to achieve at least 90 to 95% of functionality on their subsystem.
तो सर मैं इस तरह से कह सकता हूँ कि जो हम काम कर रहे हैं, जिन चीज़ों पे काम कर रहे हैं, सॉल्यूशंस पे काम कर रहे हैं, वो बहुत ही क्रिटिकल है हमारे डिफेंस के ऑब्जेक्टिव को मीट करने के लिए, क्योंकि ये ना सिर्फ हमारी कॉस्ट नहीं कम करता है, बट हमारा टाइम टू मार्केट, टाइम फॉर डेवलपमेंट, टाइम टू डिप्लॉयमेंट भी कम कर देता है. बिकॉज यहाँ पे हम लैब में हमारी इक्विपमेंट की वजह से हम काफ़ी सारा टेस्टिंग कर पाते हैं कि रियल वर्ल्ड में वो जब डिप्लॉय होता है तब उसके साथ एसोसिएटेड जो कॉस्ट होती है, जो टाइम रहता है, वो रिड्यूस हो जाता है. इज दिस अ fair assumption or fair statement on what we do?
Absolutely, Chintan साहब, your understanding is 100% correct. मैं थोड़ा उसको elaborate करके बताना चाहता हूँ. इसमें क्या है, see any kind of field trials जब करने के लिए जाओगे, अगर आपका सिस्टम पूरी तरफ से रेडी नहीं है, for whatever reasons, अगर वो field trial जो फेल हो जाता है और फील्ड ट्रायल में अगर वो as per specification काम नहीं करता है, it will attribute to lots of financial losses. So anyway it's there. Lots of travel is involved and time is involved. Now, 15 years back, whatever was happening because of lack of this kind of infrastructure by the organizations, this kind of field trial failure used to be very, very normal thing because they were expecting that to happen. But of late, because of the technology development, the kind of investments these organizations are doing when it comes to test and evaluation is phenomenal, due to which ये जो strike rate जो है इनका field trials का, it is much more now, and that way as you rightly said, ये इसका फ़ायदा उनको क्लियरली दिख रहा है, एंड जो भी ये लोग इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं उसमें, उसका इन्वेस्टमेंट ऑल्सो रियलाइज इन सच ए वे, फेलियर्स आर रिड्यूस सो दैट दे विल बी एबल टू सेव मनी एंड टाइम ऑल्सो.
ओके, ऑलराइट. एक और सवाल था सर. हम मतलब एज अ इन्वेस्टर कम्युनिटी की तरफ से हमने बहुत सारी कंपनियां देखी है जो ड्रोन में आ रही है, बहुत सब ड्रोन में लॉइटरिंग म्यूनिशन में काम कर रही है, एंटी ड्रोन में काम कर रही है. हम सिम्युलेटर पे काम भी करते हैं. तो ड्रोन सेक्टर को हम अभी कुछ सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं.
हाँ सर, वेरी मच. व्हेन यू से ड्रोन सेक्टर, वी आर पार्ट ऑफ ए प्रोग्राम where anti-drone systems have been developed and delivered, and in the latest Operation Sindoor also, our systems were put for combat testing, right? When I say combat testing, see there are two things we need to understand. एक होता है field trials. Field trials होता है specification वजह से अपना काम कर रहा है या नहीं, वो field test हो जाता है. But finally ये combat testing जो है, this kind of thing scenario should not come. Unfortunately, it came because of our bad neighbors or hostile neighborhood, whatever it is. So combat testing में अगर ये system जो prove होता है, then only you can say that अपना specification के हिसाब से ये system prove हुआ and it got delivered. Yes, you're right. We are very much into anti-drone development, and futuristic investment जो भी हम plan कर रहे हैं, we are focusing on that. हम करने वाले हैं उसमें.
ओके सर, थोड़ा सा तो हमने अभी जो बात की वो बेसिकली कि हमारी जो डिफेंस के डिफरेंट एंटिटीज़ है उसमें हम कैसे नई सिस्टम्स इंट्रोड्यूस कर सकते हैं. व्हाट अबाउट द एग्जिस्टिंग वंस? लेट्स से हम मेंटेनेंस करते हैं हमारे फाइटर जेट्स का, मिसाइल्स का, रडार वार्निंग सिस्टम्स का. वहाँ पे हमारे कुछ ऐसे एप्लीकेशंस हैं जो हम बार बार यूज हो रहे हैं. इज देयर अ रिपीट यूज ऑफ वेरियस प्रोडक्ट्स व्हिच वी नीड टू सप्लाई? इज इट अ वन टाइम परचेज? इज इट अ मल्टीपल टाइम दैट द प्रोडक्ट्स गेट्स यूज? थोड़ा सा उसके बारे में.
या वो ये बहुत क्रिटिकल है हमारे कंपनी के लिए सॉरी, हमारे इंडस्ट्री के लिए भी, क्योंकि इसमें क्या होता है, जब भी हम एक प्रोटोटाइप सिस्टम बनाते हैं, मैंने लेट मी टेक ए चेकआउट सिस्टम का एग्जाम्पल ले लेता हूँ. चेकआउट सिस्टम मेनली मिसाइल प्रोग्राम के रेफरेंस लेके बता रहा हूँ मैं. ये प्रोटोटाइपिंग जब वो चेकआउट सिस्टम बनाते हैं, इनिशियली दिस सिस्टम इज मेंट टू टेस्ट इट ऑन ए लैब. सब्सिक्वेंटली व्हेनेवर दिस सिस्टम्स, इवन द मिसाइल्स फॉर दैट मैटर, अप्रूव होके डिलीवरी के लिए फोर्सेस के लिए जाएंगे, बीट एनी 3 फोर्सेस, एयरफोर्स, नेवी, आर्मी, each battery which is consisting of 50 to 100 missiles, we are supposed to deliver these checkout systems also to them. रीज़न क्यों है, जब भी ये सिस्टम चेकआउट सिस्टम जो फोर्सेस के लिए जब डिलीवर होंगे, एक बॉर्डर एरिया में ये जो मिसाइल्स जो इन्होंने इंस्टॉल करके रखे हैं, once in a week at least they are supposed to check the functionality of this system to make sure that when a combat scenario comes, within 10 to 15 minutes time, they should be able to make the system ready for to engage the targets. So if you don't do regular servicing or regular functional checking of these systems, it will be very difficult to believe whether your systems are really working or not. That is where the checkout systems which have been delivered by us to most of these missile programs are coming handy, and we can take a credit of delivering these systems to all 3 forces. They have already delivered, and many places we are starting our integration and training also. And this is one area where as missile production grows, we have very clear visibility of our checkout system numbers also growing accordingly. Yeah.
So अगर सर मैं रेवेन्यू की बात करता हूँ तो we did roughly 64 crore of revenue on the TMS segment or the automated test equipment segment over there. तो मुझे थोड़ा सा इसको ब्रेक डाउन करना है, थोड़ा समझना है कि हमने किस तरह से क्या किया. TMS सिस्टम में हम क्या क्या कर रहे हैं. अगर ऑटोमेटेड टेस्ट सिस्टम की बात करें, आर वी देयर ऑन एवियोनिक्स टेस्ट सिस्टम्स, हम रडार टेस्टिंग करते हैं, हम एक्चुएटर के टेस्ट का काम कर रहे हैं, जो RF सिग्नेचर रिसीविंग और ट्रांसमिशन सिस्टम में काम करें. थोड़ा सा समझा सकते हैं किस तरह से प्रोडक्ट, कौन सी प्रोडक्ट में हमने काम किया हुआ है.
जरूर. इस पर क्या है, अभी TMS सेगमेंट में देयर आर मेनली 6 मेन कंपोनेंट्स है इसमें. पहले तो डिजिटल रिसीवर्स बोलते हैं जो कम्युनिकेशन के होते हैं. रडार एंड इलेक्ट्रॉनिक वॉरफेयर पूरा रडार के बेसिस होता है. Now next comes ATEs. ATE जो है, ATE can be for anything, any electronic subsystem, be it analog, digital, जो भी है. That is a very specific segment, which are mainly meant to do a production testing. Basically, mainly public sectors who get the orders from DRDO, they start producing it. They will be having ATEs with them. Next segment is checkout systems. In this process, there is one main segment which is contributing to our revenue also, known as actuator test systems. See, actuator test system also is mainly meant for any kind of be it a drone, be it a missile or any kind of aircraft. There are fins always which will decide the trajectory of these systems. So when these systems are, these weapons or aircrafts are flying at that kind of 2 Mach or 3 Mach speed, whether fins are acting as per the requirement or not, that has to be tested in the ground.
So एक यहाँ पे एक मैं दर्शकों को बताना चाहूँगा कि आप जब भी आप प्लेन में बैठते हैं तो आप देख रहे हैं कि विंग्स के साइड में आपने देखा होगा कि आइलरॉन्स रहते हैं, फिन्स रहते हैं जो ऊपर नीचे होते हैं लिफ्ट देने के लिए या ब्रेक देने के लिए. तो बेसिकली वो कंट्रोल करने के लिए एक्चुएटर सिस्टम होती है. जस्ट टू एक्सप्लेन यू व्हाट सर इज समझा रहे हैं, बट सर प्लीज कंटिन्यू. या
थैंक यू. No, good that you have brought that point. This will explain how critical it is. Just imagine कर लीजिए ये लैंडिंग के लिए आ रहा है, रडार प्रेस करते हैं, अगर वो एक्चुएटर स्टक हो जाता है और काम नहीं किया तब तो इट्स गोइंग टू बी वेरी 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 डेंजरस सिचुएशन. दैट्स रीजन इसको एक्चुएटर जो बनाते हैं उसको वैलिडेट करना बहुत जरूरी है. दे डू मल्टीपल टेस्ट. व्हाइल डूइंग दैट माय सिस्टम्स हेल्प देम. वी डू द टेस्टिंग, वी जनरेट डाटा. ये जनरेट साइंटिस्ट को देंगे जो भी डिजाइन कर रहे हैं. यूजिंग दैट डाटा यू विल मेक द सिस्टम मोर अपग्रेडेबल and at the same time more reliable. Both reliability भी check होगा उसमें, functionality भी check होगा. So this also adds a good amount of revenue to our applications because all the segments having these kind of requirements.
Okay. So जो checkout system है तो रेगुलर मेंटेनेंस में हमें एक रेडीनेस चेक करना रहता है मिसाइल्स का या फाइटर जेट का या बाकी काफ़ी सारी सिस्टम का. तो चेकआउट सिस्टम वहाँ पे यूज़ होती है.
यस मेनली फॉर दैट. ये फील्ड में इसका ज़्यादा अप्लीकेबल है, हैंगर्स में, फील्ड में, क्योंकि लैब में चेकआउट सिस्टम ओनली टू द एक्सटेंट ऑफ डिज़ाइन प्रूव करके टेस्ट करने तक सीमित है. एक बार प्रोडक्शन में चले जाते हैं, प्रोडक्शन में होने के बाद ये पूरा सिस्टम्स फोर्सेस को जब डिलीवरी हो जाते हैं, मोस्ट ऑफ दिस चेकआउट सिस्टम्स आर मोर रिलेवेंट देयर, क्योंकि इन्होंने जो है रेगुलर इसको मेंटेनेंस चेक करके इसको कॉम्बैट रेडी रखने का जो है चेकआउट सिस्टम्स इनके लिए बहुत फायदेमंद होते हैं.
Digilogic Systems validates a wide range of missile systems including air, surface, and hypersonic platforms built on advanced propulsion technologies. Digilogic tests and verifies critical missile subsystems including radar, communication, propulsion, telemetry, electronic warfare, actuators, guidance and control. Our test and simulation solutions include radar target echo simulators, flight mission simulators, hardware-in-the-loop simulation systems, seeker test systems, propulsion test solutions.
सर थोड़ा सा मिसाइल टेस्ट सिस्टम की बात कर रहा हूँ, कुछ स्पेसिफिक एग्जांपल मैं लेना चाहता हूँ कि सीकर इवैल्यूएशन एंड टेस्ट सिमुलेटर क्या है एग्जैक्टली, हम क्या करते हैं वहाँ पे.
Oh, great. That's a good question. Actually, as I was telling you, one of our critical segment is going to be radar simulators basically. So seeker is one of the onboard radar which is going to sit on a missile. When you go for a engagement into the target, once it is fired, this is the gentleman who helps the missile to go in the right direction and takes the hit on a assigned target. Okay. Now this being a radar, once again evaluating this radar, if you have to do it on a missile, go for a trial, that's going to be again a very costly affair. Okay. So hence what we do, we enable our client by developing a controlled environment test facility where we deliver seeker simulators, what we call, using which a kind of scenario will be developed using a software where the seeker will be put inside that and seeker will get an experience of as if it is flying on a missile and looking at the total environment, be it a clutter, be it any kind of threat coming around that, and accordingly act, due to which the functionality of the seeker is getting validated.
Okay.
So this will save one thing is evaluation of the seeker is getting done. Also, you don't have to go for live trials. If you go for a live trials with half-cooked your item, there is a bright possibility that your test might go bad. At the same time, whatever you invested on this particular electrons might go waste.
Digilogic's state-of-the-art radar target echo simulator bridges the gap between lab and real world, delivering realistic, scalable and customizable radar echo simulation in a safe, controlled environment. RTES uses digital radio frequency memory technology to process RF signals on high-speed FPGAs and retransmit them as realistic radar echoes. RTES replicates field conditions with multiple targets, RCS and clutter models, while accurately simulating range and Doppler, and incorporating advanced ECM and jamming capabilities. Available in both benchtop and portable forms, RTES covers L through Ka bands, supports up to 2000 MHz bandwidth and streams data complying military standards. Built on a scalable architecture, this powerful tool is ready to scale with evolving radar technology, featuring a sleek and intuitive GUI for easy scenario creation, control, and
Okay. सर अगेन मैं वापस अगर नंबर्स के पास आता हूं तो मैं देख रहा हूं कि क्लोज टू 10% ऑफ द रेवेन्यू, क्लोज टू 7 करोड़ वी आर गेटिंग इट आउट ऑफ द सॉफ्टवेयर पार्ट ऑफ इट. या हमने जो अभी पहले बात की थी वो सारे हार्डवेयर एम्बेडेड सिस्टम्स की बात की थी, अभी हम बात कर रहे हैं सिर्फ सॉफ्टवेयर की. तो सॉफ्टवेयर में हम सर क्या करते हैं एग्जैक्टली?
Okay. Now, whenever we are trying to set up a facility, there are some of the clients will come with a requirement saying that उनके पास already उन्होंने invest किया हुआ है, they have lots of box instruments which are already invested. Now at this stage he doesn't want to buy new hardware and come and build up a system, and he is working on a limited budget. That is one option where we go and understand the requirement, make a clear documentation of the test cases, then give validation only as a software using his own instruments, with which he will start getting a taste of automation. Till अभी तक automation नहीं कर रहे थे, अभी जैसे उन्होंने automation किया है, he becomes a very potential client for me for my futuristic total solutions which I can offer. That is one segment. Other segment is there are many OEMs who approach us, who are also in the TMS market, to take up only software development for their clients. There are many clients for them who bought already hardware. So validation is only software. So there also we contribute. So that is what is present scenario. That's how we are able to make some money when it comes to the software. Apart from this, the softwares which have been developed and validated also independently sold as a reusable modules. That also adds to our value. There are some customers who are already having their own expertise in developing the AT for the subsystems, but there are some modules with us which are validated. They would like to buy that, integrate it with their system. That also adds to our software value.
Okay, all right. थोड़ा सर हमने एक और सेगमेंट है हमारे सॉफ्टवेयर में विच इज़ दी IP कोर या इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी कोर. थोड़ा उसके बारे में अगर एक एग्जांपल लेके समझा सकते हैं थोड़ा कि जो FPGA होता है, फिक्स्ड प्रोग्रामेबल गेट अरे, एक्चुअली क्या होता है, थोड़ा एक एग्जांपल के द्वारा अगर आप समझा सकें.
This is more specific to radar simulators or electronic warfare system simulators what we are trying to build. When I am testing a radar within the controlled environment, we need to generate a total radar scenario which includes clutter, range equations, and lots of target generation need to be done. Now also when I am going for a testing of the radar, it should be in such a way we should give a feeler to this radar system as if it is sitting on a missile or an aircraft, it is flying. In that kind of scenario has to be generated. To do this, all this intelligence we will develop in a software and get it ported into an FPGA. Once it is ported in the FPGA, it gets integrated to the main system. Through GUI, we will be able to generate a scenario in such a way this system will get used. Now, as we are developing multiple packages like this, lots of solutions will come out of it, and these things, once we validate them, they get converted into a core with us. Now, though I call it IP core, they are not patented, but they are totally reusable. I will give an example. For example, apart from this, there are some kind of radome testing is what we have expertise, where to design the radome for its best stealth capabilities, we have softwares with us which will help the engineers and scientists to evaluate the radomes so that stealth capabilities will be reaching almost 100%. That is one another package we sell in numbers, it goes through. So that way, though I don't, these are all not patented, they're copyrighted, but they're not patented. But as a package, they're sellable.
थोड़ा सा सर सर्विसेज जो हमारा अभी लीस्ट रेवेन्यू जनरेटिंग सेगमेंट है उसके बारे में बात करें तो कौन सी सर्विसेज हम प्रोवाइड करते हैं हमारे कस्टमर्स को और आप किस तरह से ये तीनों सेगमेंट को इवॉल्व होते देख रहे हैं फ्यूचर में?
Yeah. Now coming back to services mainly, there is main contributor in this is going to be annual maintenance contract which we sign with the clients. Invariably, when it comes to public sectors or DRDO, to start with, they might sign up a 1 year warranty, and some of the clients also sign up 3 years warranty. Once 3 years warranty is over, then we will engage them to sign up a comprehensive maintenance contract with us.
तो जैसे मैं कुछ जो हमारे रिपोर्ट है जो DRHP में है वो देख रहा हूँ तो बहुत ही अच्छी सी चीज़ सामने आ रही है कि हमारा जो TMS मार्केट है वो अभी करंटली रफली लेट्स से 5,000 करोड़ के नंबर से आगे चल के रफली 9,000 करोड़ का मार्केट बनने वाला है. तो रफली ऑन एन एवरेज 14 to 15% का CAGR से ये ग्रो होने वाला है मार्केट. एंड जो भी सिस्टम हम डेवलप कर रहे हैं वो भी सिमिलरली ये ग्रो कर रही है. सर आपके हिसाब से कौन से सिस्टम्स में कौन से सब TMS के कौन से सब सेक्शन में आपको सबसे ज़्यादा ग्रोथ दिख रहा है इन द कमिंग फ्यू ईयर्स, नॉट जस्ट फॉर योर कंपनी बट एज अ TMS सेक्टर एज अ होल इन इंडिया?
ओके, उसमें क्या है, मोस्ट ऑफ दिस ATE सेगमेंट जो है वो तो ग्रो होना ही है, क्योंकि जब नंबर ऑफ बीट ए मिसाइल प्रोडक्शन, बीट एन एयरक्राफ्ट, बीट ए ड्रोन, अगर जब नंबर उनका बढ़ेगा ऑब्वियसली ये सब सिस्टम का नंबर भी बढ़ेगा. अकॉर्डिंगली ऑल दिस प्रोडक्शन एजेंसीज विल गेयर अप. So when the production line for subsystems is going to increase, they are supposed to add up more test facilities. That's where AT will come into picture. Now, when this number of missiles number has grown and whatever has been delivered to the forces, they get delivered to the borders and the depots. Checkout system is something which will go 1:1. So that way, the number of checkout system down the line 3 to 4 years, the way I am seeing it, it has to, when I compare my present number, 2 to 3 times it is bound to grow, because that is the growth we are seeing it very, very clearly, because that is mandatory. Without checkout system, maintaining the system in their depots, in their border areas is going to be critical for them, and they will be needing it, and they already earmarked the required budget जो चाहिए उनको, वो already earmark किया हुआ है. So वो जाके बनेगा. थर्ड मार्केट जो कंट्रीब्यूट करने वाला है इसमें, ये स्पेशली रडार एंड कम्युनिकेशन विंग जो है एंड इलेक्ट्रॉनिक वॉरफेयर सिस्टम्स, दो दे आर वेरी कॉस्टली एक्टिविटीज, बट इंडिया इज टोटली गेयरिंग अप फॉर दैट, एंड विद इन DRDO देयर इज अ गुड अमाउंट ऑफ फंड्स हैव बीन एलोकेटेड टू एनेबल द टेस्ट फैसिलिटीज टू टेस्ट देम. कंट्रोल एनवायरनमेंट भी होगा और इट विल बी हैपनिंग इन आउटडोर ऑल्सो, आउटडोर टेस्टिंग भी होता है. सो बोथ द एरियाज में हमारा इक्वल कंट्रीब्यूशन है, एंड आई एम ऑफ द ओपिनियन that is the place we will be able to really make our presence felt equal, and that is going to add up to our numbers also in future business.
Okay. AS9100D हमने कब अचीव किया था?
Okay. या सर अभी दे ऐसा है, क्योंकि ये जो इंडस्ट्री हम एड्रेस कर रहे हैं डिफेंस एंड एरोस्पेस इंडस्ट्री में, अभी तक ने हमने जो डिस्कस किया, द क्वालिटी इज गोइंग टू बी वेरी वेरी क्रिटिकल, क्योंकि जब मिशन क्रिटिकल सिस्टम जब हम टेस्ट करने के लिए एक सिस्टम बना रहे हैं, सो जो हमारा जो सिस्टम जो डिलीवर होगा वो भी इक्वल उससे बेहतर क्वालिटी होना चाहिए. सो एंड प्रोसीजर्स एंड प्रोसेसेस ऑफ द कंपनी हु इज डेवलपिंग दिस काइंड ऑफ टेस्ट सिस्टम्स हैव टू बी काइंड ऑफ क्वालिफाइड. सो कीपिंग दैट इन व्यू, वी थॉट AS9100D is the right certification under which they cover lots of systematic documentation to be covered, that is getting guided. Apart from that, they inculcate lots of quality policy into the company. So this so happened that almost more than 10 years past that we are into this process. Now I think this is the fourth year, regular once in 2 years we get it renewed, right? So after signing up AS9100D, personally I myself have seen our quality of documentation is phenomenally improved. Why? Because documentation plays a very key role for two reasons. So initially, you are developing a system, how clearly you document a activity is important. Subsequently, when system gets delivered, your documents, be it a user manual or maintenance manual or system which you give to the user, your end user, has to be so self-explanatory so that you need not to depend on OEM or us eternally. So that's where, to enable us to get into this kind of culture, this particular certification has really helped. Yeah.
थोड़ा सा sir, we are also qualified as a DCPP partner.
Yes, sir.
Our partnership with Spiria from France, Satim from Poland. If you can help us understand what kind of, how this will help us grow.
Yes. Okay. Now coming back, as a part of our indigenous program, whatever Government of India is doing it, of late we have seen a very active role by the organization, saying that if you become part of a designing scheme, initially you are trying to develop a ATE for a particular subsystem, which is subsequently which is bound to go for a production, your initial effort which you have done with them to protect it, they sign up with us as a DCPP partner in the initial stage itself. Once we are signed up, our system is delivered to them, it gets approved, goes for production. That is the time we will be assured of getting our numbers. For example, tomorrow it goes in numbers, so we will be recommended as a part of a production agency for the production partner for them. And the technology transfer document, whatever goes from design agency to production agencies, our name will be reflected in the saying that this is the particular company for this particular ATEs, you should work with them. So this will enable and give us a confidence in investing into it, and subsequently futuristic business is more or less taken care.
Okay.
That is with respect to DCPP. Similar programs are on, and we are most of the places we are part of that program. It continues to go.
Okay.
Now coming back, as we are in this industry, people are also watching us. There are some OEMs who are also having similar expertise, started discussing with us, and though effectively we are not done, it's around discussion itself is 2 to 3 years old, but it is still going on. As on today, though we have not effectively done any business with them, but there is a roadmap very clearly. Tomorrow, if they sign up and come into India and start doing some MROs in their own major partners of their products, we are likely to be the testing partners within India. Spiria could be one of the examples what I just mentioned. So that's what it is.
Okay, understood. So, sir, one very interesting piece which I saw on the presentation कि हमारा repeat customer rate जो है वो 84% the revenue comes from our customers, which is a repeat business for us.
Yes.
Why is that?
Okay. Yes. That's a good question. Basically, what happens? I had to go back to the design again. See what happens. These systems, when we start in the prototyping and develop an ATE, the test software which gets developed using this ATE has to be validated by different agencies. For example, if I take a missile program, there are agencies like MSQA is the one government agency who is part of this DRDO organization, who is supposed to qualify this softwares to make sure that this software is capable of enabling a mission critical subsystems. Now, this is a tripartite effort where designer also has to put good amount of effort. As a industry partner, I have to put my team on my effort. At the same time, inspection agency also have to put quality time into that to qualify this. Once this is qualified and approved and handed over, when it goes to production, it has to be done by this particular company only, because it's already qualified software. Now, having qualified software, there is hardly any chance that any other company could get into this fray, and also agencies like DRDO and public sectors generally won't look for alternative people to supply this system. As long as the company who has approved for this particular software is in business, they are able to meet the requirement. That with this background, we have around, as on today, in these 18 years, we have reasonably around 18 to 20 repeat customers. We are already there. As and when the numbers come from them, which goes for production, we are assured of getting our piece of business from there as a repeat orders.
Okay.
That is the reason you can see 80+% of revenue is coming from repeat orders.
थोड़ा सा अगर कस्टमर्स की बात करते हैं, ऑब्वियसली बिकॉज ऑफ सर्टन रिस्ट्रिक्शंस आप नाम नहीं ले सकते हैं कस्टमर्स का, बट हम आपने थोड़े हिंट्स दिए हुए हैं कि एक चीज़ जो हमने अभी तक डिस्कस नहीं की कि एक कस्टमर है आपके जो आपको अंडर वाटर वेपन सिस्टम और टॉर्पीडो टेक्नोलॉजीज में कुछ आप वहाँ पे कर रहे हैं, आपने काम किया है, थोड़ा सा कौन सी किस तरह की सिस्टम हमने वहाँ पे हमने सप्लाई की है सर?
Okay, when it comes to torpedoes, so onboard computer torpedo also has onboard electronics which are going to sit on that. So we have delivered systems to test those things. Apart from that, there are some facilities which we erected in this kind of facilities, in this kind of labs, where they have, for example, there are some sensors known as hydrophone. Hydrophones are the sensors which gets built into this kind of submarines and all that. These hydrophones also these people manufacture, design and manufacture. To test and calibrate hydrophones, we have built facilities. As on today, we have around 3 to 4 facilities built within India, which are end-to-end has been developed and delivered to them. And the software which is being developed by us are the ones which are meant to evaluate their sensors. Based on the feedback what that software gives, they make the quality better.
Okay.
So that is one of the contributions.
Digilogic's hydrophone calibration system is based on the modular architecture that includes signal source generator, high-speed signal activation capability, insulation resistance measurement capability, multiplexer switching hardware, high-end processor. The system calibrates and compares the test hydrophones with the standard projector and receiver hydrophones by employing reciprocity, comparison, and directivity principles. The hydrophone calibrator can operate in the temperature range of -10 degrees to +50 degrees Celsius without significant loss of accuracy. Features of Digilogic's hydrophone calibration system. Capable of calibrating a maximum of 64 hydrophones at once. Integrated insulation resistance measurement. Capable of generating CW burst with a minimum burst duration of 0.5 milliseconds. Capable of generating CW frequency of 2 kHz to 1 MHz. Pulse repetitive rate of 20 milliseconds. Customized configuration and automated report generation based on the tests conducted. Types of tests conducted. Reciprocity test, comparison test, transmitting voltage response tests up to 64 channels, free field receiving sensitivity test up to 64 channels, directivity test for multiple frequencies, directivity test with external trigger, directivity test with external trigger for multiple frequencies, insulation resistance.
ओके राइट सर, ग्रोथ की बात करते हैं तो हमारा जो एक सिग्निफिकेंट पोर्शन हमारे आईपीओ प्रोसेस का है वो हमारी नई फैसिलिटी के तरफ जाएगा, थोड़ा उसके बारे में बता सकते हैं क्या हम करने वाले हैं वहाँ पे इन द न्यू फैसिलिटी?
सो उसके बारे में ऐसा है, अभी देखिए एज ऑन टुडे द काइंड ऑफ एक्टिविटी वॉट एवर वी आर डूइंग विथ ATEs, चेकआउट सिस्टम, radar related simulators, electronic warfare, this will continue to do and there is no dilution as such. इस रूट में हम कोई कुछ dilution नहीं कर रहे हैं. Proportionately whatever the commitment of growth what we are committing, that will continue to happen. But ये होते होते what we have realized is there is one segment which is really booming in the market, which we are missing it for some reasons or very known reasons. That is, we are not geared up with the facilities to handle that kind of production which is going to come. Now, as of now, the kind of scenario because of the indigenization, because of the government policies, lots of systems are going to get indigenously developed. Also, mainly, for example, आप देखिए, missile is like a bullet. Once you use it, you cannot reuse it. Bullet, once you fire from your gun, you cannot reuse it. Missile also is something like that. Now that because of the recent development in the border areas, there are lots of inventory is already used up. So there is a huge demand for production of the missiles. Okay. Now all SAMs what are going to get produced within India, the numbers are going to grow in multiple numbers, multiple folds. Okay. Once that happens, the existing Tier 1 production agency who are there, though they have capabilities, but as of now the facility is not scaled up to meet that requirement. Obviously they will start looking for the private industry to participate. That gap we wanted to fill. When I say that gap, this particular facility which we are going to come up, we are going to build a 65,000 to 70,000 SFT built-up area, under which we will start taking up integration of build-to-print manufacturing of build-to-print subsystems. That is one segment. Once build-to-print subsystems are done, we will also erect a test facility to test those subsystems. After testing the subsystem, same subsystems will be subjected to all environmental tests. Once we subject them to environmental test, the system which is going to come out of this facility will be qualified to go on board in a missile. This is the segment which we are going to cover.
जस्ट सॉरी टू इंटरप्ट, जो सब सिस्टम बोल रहे हैं तो उसको अगर थोड़ा सा इजी भाषा इजीली समझाना है तो किस तरह से समझा सकते हैं सर?
ओके, अगेन आई विल गो बैक टू आवर कार एग्जांपल. कार में आप जैसे बताएं एक ECU है, इंजन कंट्रोल यूनिट बोलते हैं उसको. इंजन कंट्रोल यूनिट इज द वन विच इज इट हैज इट्स ओन प्रोसेसर होगा, उसके ऊपर डिफरेंट इंटरफेस होंगे. वो कार के अंदर बैठ के इट विल मॉनिटर द टोटल हेल्थ ऑफ द कार connected to different sensors. Similarly, on a missile also, there will be one computer, they call it onboard computer. This is the one which is so critical as far as that weapon is concerned. These things are getting manufactured in numbers.
तो if I use that example, तो जैसे हमारा कार का एग्जांपल हम रीयूज करते हैं, तो जो विंडो ऊपर नीचे करने वाला जो मोटर रहेगा एक सब असेंबली कहला सकता है. Similarly, ऐसा is that a fair understanding?
Yeah, very much fair, very much fair. That's fair. See, from there will be a sensor which is going to tell you whether window is come down or it's going up. That message will come to this engine control unit. It will tell you yes, your job is done. Likewise, the total car is connected to this particular engine control unit. Now, the place where what we are talking about it, design is already proven, prototype पूरा prove हो गया. अभी इसको numbers में बनाना है, multiple numbers में इसको produce करना है. वो once we get that technology from the authorized agencies, we will manufacture the total thing. इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मैन्युफैक्चरिंग उधर होगा. इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मैन्युफैक्चर होने के बाद ये स्पेसिफिकेशंस के हिसाब से काम कर रहा है या नहीं, वो दैट हैज़ टू बी टेस्टेड यूजिंग ए ATE फंक्शनल टेस्टर्स विच वी आर गोइंग डायरेक्ट देयर. देन नेक्स्ट लेवल वी गो एंड दिस वन अगेन taking this itself an example, because once you are put in the car, there are lots of heat generated over there, lots of vibrations are there. This ECU should work as per the requirement. After putting into the car, you should not have any problem, fit and forget kind of stuff. If you have to qualify the system like that, you have to subject it to various harsh environmental testing. That facility also we are erecting there. Okay. Once it is done, this unit is ready for the OEM to go and fit into the car. That's how it goes.
And ये हम करेंगे in missile systems, in aircraft, किस चीज़ों में हम
drones में भी everything can be covered. Okay. Everything can be covered because facility is going to be common. It's only thing you see, because I am not going to, rather this facility is not going to design anything. They will only take the document, design document, and manufacture and give it to them as per their specification.
Okay.
Hence, this facility will be able to handle all segments.
Okay. Yeah. Even anti-drone as well.
Anti-drone also, yes.
Okay. All right. थोड़ा सर AI के बारे में बता सकते हैं? How do you see? Are we planning to do something in AI to grow further?
Yeah. Okay. Now coming back, whether we like it or not, AI seems to have become a very critical segment of the industry. And we being a technology-driven company, we also should not be left out. That's what we decided in this 1.5 years time. So we have started a small in-house team to work on this, to understand how AI can be integrated in test and evaluation, how AI can be integrated into my simulation activities. At the same time, the kind of control systems what we are building and delivering it, how AI can become relevant. That work is already on. That's the investment, we already done it. Probably in 6 to 8 months time, we can see some of our products getting AI enabled and further delivered to the client.
वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चंस. हु इज अवर कॉम्पिटिटर? हम किसके साथ कॉम्पीट करते हैं? जब आप टेंडर पार्टिसिपेट करते हैं तो किसको आप बीट करते हैं टेंडर जीतने के लिए?
Okay. With respect to competition, if you say the nearest competition technology wise, if you see, it is our big brother, data pattern. Why? Because the kind of segments what we are addressing, this particular company addressing everything. But when it comes to size of the company, when it comes to age of the company, when it comes to their revenues, they are much bigger. But we are addressing all the segments, whatever they are addressing, right? So competition wise, it could be data pattern, it could be Apollo, Microsystems, could be one another. When it comes to simulators, it is Gen Technologies. Because Gen Technologies is well established, as you are aware, into simulators. But comparatively, we are starters in that way. But our focus is more on radar related activities and EW related activities, right? So these are the three main players.
So जो थोड़ा सा फैसिलिटी टूर करते टाइम मैंने वायर हार्नेसेस का देखा था, तो आर वी कम्पीटिंग अगेंस्ट DCX in this or whom do we compete?
Oh yes, you are very rightly you have pointed out. DCX is definitely one of the competitor for us when it comes to harnessing. And also, as I just mentioned from my back, this whenever you work with any mission critical applications, mission critical subsystems, ATs you are developing it, harnesses becomes very, very critical. So harness tester itself is evolving as one of the business segment for us, because we are addressing most of the DRDO organization when it comes to their missile programs. At the same time, when it comes to avionics also, we have delivered systems which are meant to test their cable looms. Because cable loom becomes very critical, because the kind of number of channels which are running within that particular area, cables become very, very critical. If cables are not thoroughly tested, though your subsystem is so qualified and such an advanced subsystem, if your cable harness doesn't work the way it's supposed to work, that becomes again a threat. Hence, evolving and testing cable harness is a segment for us. And now we have very reasonably good expertise in that, and we compete with the world market also, and at the same time reasonable price wise also we are quite affordable.
Okay. So थोड़े numbers की बात कर रहे हैं, तो FY25 में हमने कितना revenue किया है?
72 crores is our top line, right? So with a reasonably good EBITDA, and our PAT also grew in a very decent way over there. As I told you in the starting, the very reason for that is we could see some good production orders, both for our fire control system and checkout system coming into that particular time. And our growth in that FI, when you compare FY25, when you compare with FY24, is close to more than 40% growth.
So sir, if I look at FY23, FY24, there was a little bit of degrowth in FY24. तो वैसा क्यों हुआ था सर?
Okay, that is one thing which probably defense segment is happened to be that way, because gestation time to execution time. See, to pick up the tender itself, gestation 4 to 5 months anyway it happens. When it comes to execution, nothing is less than 6 months. Now, invariably what happens because of this policy procedures, Q1 is generally nothing much. Q1 nothing much happens. Traction happens only in Q2. In that particular year, when you see the reason, most of our orders, which otherwise we are supposed to be picking up in Q2 and billing by Q4, we were received by us in Q4 itself. So billing could not happen.
Okay.
So that is the reason spillover was there. With that spillover only, next year we pick it up.
So we went from, let's say, 50 crore plus 55 crore roughly to 72 crore. So what was the main reason for this jump? Is it number of orders, number of customers increase? How do you attribute this jump to what?
Yeah, it's not because of new customers getting added over there. It is because of the production orders which we picked up. To name few, that one of the main checkout system which were delivered for MSR projects, numbers came in that. So that added to that. And also the fire control system which we delivered to Bell Pune is the new thing which got added in that particular segment, which got executed in the H2. with which only we could grow at 40%.
ओके सो मार्जिन वाइज अगर मैं देखता हूँ तो हमारे एबिटा और पैट मार्जिन ऑल्सो ग्रू सिग्निफिकेंटली फ्रॉम रफली लेट्स से 5% पैट मार्जिन वी वेंट टू क्लोज टू 11% मार्जिन राइट. तो अगेन क्या रीज़न था ये जंप का?
Again, I need to attribute the jump because of this only. The reason is when a checkout system or any kind of fire control system, initially when we are developing it, there's a good amount of software efforts gets into it, and lots of test and evaluation happens within the system, where you need to spend a good amount of time over there. So once software is validated and ready to be ported in the multiple systems, that is a flawless, and at the same time we will get the benefit of commercial benefit also we'll get at that stage. Reason is a system which we have made for one system, similar system I need to deliver for 10 numbers. Value wise it is into 10, whereas software value whatever I have attributed over there, I don't have to really spend my time into this, due to which you can see that revenue growth is only because of those two repeat orders which we executed. That is attributing.
But is this something which we can see going forward in the similar lines, or was it a one-off thing?
Definitely not. It is definitely not one of its kind, because most of the programs prototyping is already done. They've gone into approvals. Now these systems get approved and goes for production. In all these programs, wherever we got involved, we have visibility that we will get into production orders.
ट्रेड रिसीवेबल अगर मैं देख रहा हूँ तो हमारा ट्रेड रिसीवेबल 20 करोड़ से रफली जंप होके 43 करोड़ 44 करोड़ तक पहुँच गया FY25 में. तो हमारा पेमेंट साइकिल किस तरह से रहता है सर? अगर आप टेंडर जीत जाते हैं, अगर डायरेक्ट टेंडर है या फिर वाया सम अदर बिग पार्टी, do we get any advance? Do we get once हम रेवेन्यू रिकग्नाइज करते हैं हमारी बुक्स में, से टाइम कितना लगता है पेमेंट आने में अपने यहाँ पे?
I think इसके लिए I have to address this question in two parts. First part is ease of business with my client base. Of late, this process really got matured. They started understanding with respect to MSME what are the kind of cash flows we are facing. Okay, so hence as a part of their project, their procurement manual itself, they have come out with a milestone payments. For example, any project which is going to be something like, for example, more than 5 crores, you will be eligible to draw at least 20% margin, 20% advance money of the value, provided you give the BG. Bank guarantee has to be given. So that is one thing which probably we very frequently we make use of it. Then comes milestone payments. See, earlier what used to happen, 100% payment after final acceptance used to happen, for where most of the fund used to get stuck. Now, because of this milestone payment, we are in a position to collect 80% of my total investment before even system gets delivered. Left over 20% only is getting stuck. This cycle it varies from 45 days to sometimes worst case 90 days. It never goes more than 90 days. That is the payment cycle. Okay. Now coming back to the dip, what we have seen, this is practically what happens sometimes. The orders which we are supposed to get it collected at least worst case scenario by December, that is H1, Q2, Q3 mid or Q3 starting. If that gets deferred to Q4, then those things will not get billed. That dip whatever you are seeing is because of that. So because we received all these orders in the month of January, February, we pushed ourselves and built everything by mid of March. So because we almost close to 45 plus crores, we built in mid of March. When we closed our books on 31st March, all these things are shown as a receivables, which were again collected by end of May. That's a different story. But my balance sheet says that receivables are almost 40 crores. It's only because of that.
Okay. So दूसरा सर, मैं हमारा जो फंड प्रोसीड्स का देखता हूँ, तो roughly 53-54 crore is being utilized towards a new factory, new manufacturing facility setup. But we are also doing roughly 7 crore of repayment of loans. तो ये लॉन्ग टर्म बोरोइंग हम रिड्यूस कर रहे हैं, या फिर हमारा जो अब जैसे बोला बीजी दे रहे हैं, तो बीजी के लिए जो हमारा सिक्योर्ड या अनसिक्योर्ड रहेगा वहाँ पे बीजी को शोर अप करने के लिए कर रहे हैं? थोड़ा सा समझा सकते हैं हम रीपेमेंट क्यों कर रहे हैं सर ये डेट को?
Okay, repayment. Okay, now coming back, there are two ways we are handling the business. One is I have my own bank limits with the bank, because we generate our collaterals. With the collateral we already have. This is closely 25 plus around 45 crores is my fund and non-fund based facilities available. This itself will suffice my ongoing activities. Now coming back, the new facility, whatever we are trying to build, we already raised a debt from Indian Bank. From there, we have started the project. But now that IPO proceedings, whatever is going to come up, that is the one which we are going to use for this facility. So now 7 crores which are already taken from Indian Bank, the moment we receive, out of that 30% anyway from my company, we already invested. Now 7 crores is the one what we are going to pay it back to Indian Bank, and subsequently whatever IPO proceedings, whatever comes, that is the one we are going to use it for my new facility.
Okay. So the new facility, when do you expect to be up and running? So I saw that we already got the land allocated. Is the construction work already begun there?
Yes. Land allocation is done. It is in a TGAC hardware park. It is around 2 acres of land. Land development is going on now. So we got the architect design approved. Now we are waiting for the approval from TGAC for the final approvals. Now when it comes to project execution, 27 end is the one where our project will be ready, civil structure. By that time machinery also will arrive. 6 months will take for commissioning. So this productioning and order execution from that facility is likely to happen in mid of 28.